To help us prepare for the FSAs next week, at the beginning of class, we'll be going through a few word problems from past tests to help us feel a little bit more comfortable when we approach this year's FSAs. So, our first question is about the Fit and Fun store, and they have exercise equipment on sale. The regular price is $500 for the treadmill. Samuel says that these two ways of calculating will result in the same final cost. Reduce the regular price by 20%, then add the 12% sales tax. Or add the 12% sales tax to the regular price, and then reduce this cost by 20%. Is Samuel correct? Show all of your work. So, to begin with, we are going to follow the first way. I'm going to label this number 1. So, for option 1, our first step is to reduce the regular price by 20%. So the regular price is $500, and we need to figure out how to subtract 20% of 500. So to figure out 20% of 500, 20% is like 20 out of 100. And so is 500 our part or our whole? It's our whole. So we just need to figure out what goes in the blank here. How could we figure that out? If we were to use the fish, we need to make sure that our tail ends at the blank. So we start at the other end of the tail. So we would go 500 times 20, which gives us 5 times 2 is 10, and then 3 more zeros. And then we need to divide this by our last number, which is 100. So that gives us 100. So 500 minus $100 would give us how much money? 400. So reducing the 20% would give us $400, and now we need to add 12%. So we need to figure out 12% of 400. So our first step is 12 times 400, so 12 times 4 is 48, and then we add the 2 zeros, and then my last step is to divide it by 100, so that will give us 48. So now I need to add that onto the 400. So 400 plus 48 equals 448. So that would be the cost for the first way we're asked to solve this. So now we need to solve it the second way, and to make sure I have enough space, I'm going to actually erase the work that I did for question number 1. So we can move that work out of the way, and we'll keep what we have. And we'll now look at option 2. So our second option is to add 12% sales tax to the regular price and then reduce that cost by 20%. So it costs $500, and I need to figure out 12% of 500. If I wanted to use the fish, I need to write 2 fractions. So 12% equals 12 out of 100, and then $500 will be on the bottom of my fraction because it's the whole number, right? Now I can use the fish. So to multiply, I need to do 500 times 12, And 5 times 12 is 60. And then we need 2 more zeros. And now I need to divide this by 100. So that gives me 60. So I am adding this on first. So 500 plus 60 equals $560. Now I have to figure out 20% of 560 so that I can subtract the 20%. 20% of is the same thing as saying 20% times 560. Now, can I turn 20% into a decimal? So 20% as a decimal would be 0.20, and then we can multiply that by 560. So 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. I start a new line, so I have a placeholder. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. And 6 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Now I need 2 placeholders. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And I can add them up. And so now when I look at this, I have 2 decimal places, so I need 2 decimal places. So 20% of 560 is $112. Now, I need to add or subtract this from 560. I need to subtract because we're taking it away. So I do 560 minus 112, which gives me 844. So that gives me $448. Is Samuel correct? Yes. And so you would need to show all of the work that I erased and the new work that I've done here to show that that is correct. Okay. The students use 36 meters of fencing material to go around a garden, and each section of the fence is about 1 meter in length. The garden is in the shape of a rectangle with whole number dimensions. What are all the possible areas of the garden? So, if they're saying there's 36 meters of fencing that go around, is that area or perimeter? That is perimeter. So, we now need to figure out what are all the different rectangles that could have a perimeter of 36. So, if we had it only going up 1 meter, how far across could the garden go? This would be our longest one. So if we have 1 meter on each side, that means that's taken up 2 meters. So we had 36, we've used up 2, we're left with 34. So now we have to divide that by 2, so we get 17 on the top and the bottom. So what area does this have altogether? 1 by 17 is 17 meters squared. Now, then we can go and make it 2 high. So it's going to be a little bit narrower. So if it was 2 high, how wide would the other sides need to be? The other sides would need to be 16 meters. So the total area would be, so 2 times 16 is 32 meters squared. Then we can make it 3 high. So if it's 3 high, that's using up 6. So across it would be 15 across. And that would give us a total area of 45 meters squared. Now we can go 4. So if it's 4 across, how wide would this be? So these would each be 14, because that gives us 28 plus 8 is 36, and 4 times 14 is 56 meters squared. Now we can make it 5. So it would have to be 5 by 13, because that gives us 26 plus 10. And so the area of this one would be 50 plus 15 is 65. So it'd be 65 meters squared. So then we can do 6. So if it's 6 high, how far would it be across? 12. That gives us 24 plus 12 is 36, and 6 times 12 is 74 meters squared. Then we can go to 7. Yeah. 6 times 12 is 72. I had an error. It happens. I get distracted. And it's not going to the right line.
It's still recording.
I know. Figured the people at home might not feel that they're missing out on a ton if they get to listen to all of my silly little chatter in between too. So 7 times 2 is 14. So left going across the top would be, so it would be 11 and 11, and 7 times 11 is 77 meters squared. Then we need 8 times, so 8 times 10, and 8 times 10 gives us 80 meters squared. Now we have one more that I'm going to squish into this little corner here. So if we have 9, the opposite ones need to be 9, so that gives us a total area of 81 meters squared. So they ask what are all of the possible areas, so you need to give them their list of 17, 32, 45, 56, 65, 72, 77, 80, and 81. And you need to show all the work. So we have kind of shown all of that here. The reason we stopped at 9 by 9 is because if we made it go 10 across, then it's going to be 10 by 8, which will give us an area of 80. And then our next one would be 11 by 7, which should give us 77. So it'll just repeat going all the way.